Tonight we're going to make pickled pike. We've done a bunch of videos on fishing, ice fishing, and you've seen some of the pike that we've caught. Well, here's the end result. This is probably 5 fish, and I will just fillet the whole side of the fish, go across the top, you got a lot of back meat on it, and then fillet the other side. And take all of that except for the stomach lining and cut it into chunks about this big. You can say 1-inch cubes, a little thinner if you like it. I like it real vinegary, so I like chunks like this right here. That's gonna soak it all up nice, but you don't have to worry about the bones. These all have bones in them. You can see some of the bones sticking out right here, and those bones, a lot of people say they disintegrate. They actually don't disintegrate. You'll still be able to see those, but what they do is they get real soft. They may disintegrate over time. They never last long enough with me, but they get real soft so that when you chew it, it's the same texture as the meat. You don't even notice they're there unless you pull it apart and look at it, then you see it. So what I've done is, normally we'll catch a couple fish a day. I fillet them, I put them into a half-gallon bag and put it in the freezer with water, and then when I'm ready to do a nice batch like this, I grab it out. I like to do a batch like this at once. I do it once a year normally, and give it to friends and just go from there. So I've thawed this out. As I fillet them, I cut them into chunks like this before I freeze them. So all I have to do is thaw it out, put it in a colander, rinse it off, and then I'm ready to begin. This has already been rinsed off, ready to rock. The recipe we're going to be using, the first step is tonight. It's a Tuesday night, and we're going to start with the brine. And I've got this planned out. It's going to soak in the brine for 5 days. So Sunday evening we should be able to go ahead and make up the pickle juice and put it all in the jars. So first step, fish thawed, rinsed, and cut in chunks. This is just under a gallon of fish. Now when I say gallon, you've got your Ziploc bags, and they come in gallon sizes. So a lot of people I know will catch a gallon of fish, and what they're talking about is they filled a gallon fillet bag full of, or Ziploc bag full of fish. So if you don't know exactly how much you have because you use half-gallon bags and it didn't really fill it up and you're trying to figure it out, you can always get a gallon container, put the fish in it, and see how much you've got. So I know this is just under a gallon of fish. The recipe that I've got that I like is 1 1/3 cup of pickling salt per half gallon of fish. So since I'm just under a gallon, I'm going to use 2 1/3 cups of pickling salt, canning and pickling salt, and I've already measured that out. So what I'm going to do is set this fish over here out of the way. I got my gallon container, and I'm going to go ahead and just pour this salt right in there. I've already measured it out. It's 2 1/3 cups, and I'm going to take some of my vinegar, which we're going to use distilled white vinegar. Distilled vinegar is the same thing as white vinegar. What you're looking for is a 5 to 7% acidity, and it's clear. That's what white means, not the other colored stuff. So I've got my salt in here. I'm just going to go ahead and add some vinegar. All I'm wanting to do here is just stir it in a little bit. I know it's all not going to dissolve, but I'm just going to stir it in. I was going to do a video showing the whole process, but I think if you're to the process wondering how to pickle pike, then you probably are pretty good at cleaning fish and you have an idea of how to cut fish into little chunks. Like I said, you can go big chunks, nice and thick ones like that if you want, but I prefer the kind of thinner like that. Picks it up, picks that flavoring up really well, really quick. So this is the first step. So I've just mixed my salt with a little bit of this distilled vinegar to make a brine. And now I'm just going to go ahead and pour it in here. And I'm only going to pour as much as I need to cover the fish. And that's actually working out pretty well right there. I'm going to put a little more vinegar in here just to swish the salt around, get it all in there. Alright, it's pretty good. So, stir it up a little bit. Every day I'll pop the lid on this and give it a stir, and you'll notice that all this fish will turn white and it'll get really firm to the touch. It won't be like this is real squishy. It'll be nice and firm, but it's still not falling apart. It's holding this shape, just taking on a firm texture. So that's it. We are mixed. The fish is covered. May add just a little bit more vinegar. It's got plenty of room in there. I'm going to leave it just like that. Again, that's 1 1/3 cup of pickling salt per half gallon of fish. I'm going to take this and cover it, and we're going to put it in the fridge and let it sit for 5 days. I'll pull it out every now and then and stir it around. That's it. We'll see you in 5 days.